So what's happening, everybody? It's the Gadget Inspector Griff. In this day and age, it gets everything is about promotion. Everything is about social media. Everything is about information. All of this stuff that's kind of put on our shoulders and put in our faces at an overwhelming rate. Um, is getting ridiculous. So we're at the point that for the last year or so, I've tried to reactivate my podcast. I've gone and done everything behind the scenes. I've got stuff ready. And then as I get ready to go and I go to pull an episode or start an episode or create a segment, something happens that seems to take my focus away from promotion to emotion. And that becomes a problem because the whole point of my podcast is about unification and bringing people together. So, with all of the things that are happening, I'm trying to develop and bring and start conversations that at least get us thinking on the same page. I can't say I can't do it, but I'm saying if we don't unite and get some stuff together, we're going to lose everything. So every time I do this, there seems to be almost the perfect, I don't know, anti-productive thing that happens. So Virginia has been slowly or speedily, however you want to say, with haste, traveling just in a territory that, it makes no sense. Tragedy is tragedy. When a terrorist comes and does something, it's not so out of the ordinary. It's horrible. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that a terrorist did something, we expect that because the terrorists aren't for us. They're against us. Now, when we have American people that are pulling off things that are just, anti-human, you know what I'm saying? Not even to someone's own best interest. So if someone had some money or something to gain, though it doesn't make sense, at least I can say, well, it justified in their mind to do this because they saw something that they can gain from it. A lot of these incidences, if you really look at it, and maybe I'm not studying deep enough, but they don't seem to be related to anything. There's no big cry out of any one general idea. There's no big racist cry, although they're pulling some racist acts. So these things, if you really, really look at them, and there is no proof, but they look staged. Because it's interesting that you have a place like Virginia, one of the 13 colonies, and it's iconic when things like this happen. So when people say, oh, this will never pass, this will never get over, look at the things that you say now and say, man, I wonder how we got to this point to where this is going. That was once something that somebody said, oh, this will never pass. And once they introduced it, they found a way to get people comfortable with it. And that's what they're doing with our gun rights. They're coming up with some crazy stuff way out here. And then they're dancing around all this stuff in that seems to fit the agenda. And then boom, all of a sudden legislation. So you can't convince me, although I can't prove, that these things are staged and they're related, because it just seems to be really, really amazing what's going on now. So now you want to tell me, like in Virginia, you want to reclassify and you want to reterm things and you want to change this, and now you want to make criminals of ordinary, regular citizens who, because of what they're seeing on the news and being presented by the exact same ones of you, you want to turn us into criminals for being scared and wanting to protect ourselves. How does that make sense? You offer no solution as to how to fix this, which there isn't. So there should be a narrative at least in trying to come up with that. But you won't. But you'll quickly come and reclassify to make more criminals. So what does that prove? You have no desire to protect me because you still are under armed guards. So why shouldn't I be able to protect myself? So now what you're doing is just getting to the point where you don't care and don't give a shit who can see what you're actually doing, because you're actually getting some momentum. And that's scary as shit.